Hello, everybody. Welcome to another one of my little installments. And today I will be showing you how you should um, make your own rankings. That way, you can, if you're doing a live draft and whatnot, you can just have them at your disposal. So, what I usually use is Excel. And people do them a lot of different ways. But essentially, rankings are if you can have any player in the pool, who would you take first or second? So, I'm using ESPN's rankings for the off season since we're about a month away from pitchers and catchers reporting in. I'll use their rankings, and I don't really like doing 150, 200, 250 rankings. I mostly like doing it by position. So this is usually how I how I use do my rankings. Um, I'll show I'll show you how I would do second base, and it's basically just a feel thing. So I mean, I know who I would want to draft depending on if all those second basemen were there. So I have all these. The reason I like using ESPN also is because it has age, and the player rater. Player rater really doesn't matter. I kind of already know who's top, who was top amongst their at their position. But I like age specifically because that kind of breaks, you know, breaks the. If there's a tie in a player, I usually go with the guy that's younger, or depending. It depends, but usually the younger player wins for me, especially if I'm going off upside. So for second base, I want to do second base because it does get a little different. So Cano would be first. I'm sorry if you guys can hear the clicks. Cano would be my first second baseman if I want to take. Second, I would take Rendon. Third, I would probably take Altuve. Now, Kinsler. Kinsler had a good year. I would take him. I would take him second. Also, if you're having trouble remembering, you can always bring up Fangraphs. And if you don't never do rankings off of last year's stats, always do them off of projections. It's a little bit better. I mean, you don't want to. I'm pretty sure people aren't gonna. I have you Darvish here, but he got injured and he didn't really play a full season. But um, always do them off of like Steamer or Zips, and there's also Roto Value, Marcel. Always do it off of projection systems instead. Whichever projection system you like is up to you. I usually like to use a number of them. I mean, Zips hasn't came out yet, but Fangraphs usually has Zips as well. Right now it's off of Steamer because it's really early on, but Zips will be up there a little bit later on. So do it off of projection systems. Don't do it off of last year. I know a lot of people like doing rankings right after the season ends, so October, November. But I really don't like doing that just because if somebody screws me over, they kind of like Miggy. I had Miggy last year, and he was a little dinged up. Somebody screws you over, you kind of have a little sour taste, and you end up bumping them down. Instead, try to go into your rankings with a clean slate and just try to pick the best players you can, almost like the draft. So we're at Kinsler here. Kipnis would be next, just on. Then Pedroia. Sorry. Pedroia would be my seventh. Who would be my eighth? I would probably. I don't really like D Gordon, but I mean D Gordon was pretty good if you want to win stolen bases. It starts getting harder as you run out of players. I don't think I would go Wong. Murphy's been a really concrete player for the past couple seasons. I'd probably take him over Wong. Wong's kind of he's riding momentum from from the postseason. So 10th, who would I take? I'd probably go with Walker or Utley here. I'd probably go Walker. And I usually only do 10 except for first base because of course usually my utility players come from first base or outfield, which I don't even have here. So let's put outfield right here. Put it in bold. All right, so that's usually what I do. I usually do 10 shortstop, 10 second baseman, 10 third baseman. Depending on your league, I play in a 10-team league, so I don't really need to do much more than that. Of course, I always know, what players I want after that, but usually I only do those top 10, and I build my strategy around that. So that is that all I want to talk about today? All right, let's do one more. Let's do shortstop. So two of those top. I'd go. Of course, if Hanley could stay healthy, I'd probably take him over Desmond, but he can't. So let's take Desmond. Hanley. You also got to remember that this changes. So I mean, Hanley in if Hanley was, let's see, what are they ranking Hanley? Where's he at? Let's see what he's at. Oh, so Hanley's 30th. He's in the beginning of the third round. So taking him there, he's a steal right now. And spring season, when spring hits around, he starts dropping bombs and hitting for 400 in fucking spring training. Then he'll probably go up. So right now he's a steal. So any player, you would take them depending on their value on what you can get from. So, we're on shortstops. Let's go Hanley. So Reyes. Reyes and Castro. I'd probably take Castro. Castro over Reyes. Reyes getting old. Injury questions. I'd still take him 6th. I'd go Bogarts here. Bogarts is Bogarts, whatever they call him. He's a pretty good up and coming player. I'll take Ramirez. Usually, the rankings don't differ much, just on a couple of players that I think might be a little bit better than what ESPN has, but usually the age wise, 9th. Oh man, maybe we should focus on drafting a good shortstop this year, because this is getting really bad really soon. This is also what you find out. You find out which positions are shallow and which are deep. So it looks like first base and second base I'd be fine with. Catcher seems pretty good as well. Shortstop seems like a crapshoot. Probably gonna focus on getting a shortstop early on some draft strategies. I take Ibar. Ugh. I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. This sucks. And then I'd probably bump Ben Zobrist all the way up to 10th. Depending on his team, but right now, I'd probably take Zobrist. I don't like any of these guys. Rollins. Segura. I could see Segura there. But after last year, it's kind of hard. Alcides is another guy who, if you want to get just stolen bases. Simmons is really young as well. He probably, so these bottom guys are a lot of upside. Kang, my favorite, Wrath of Kang. I could see him going there. But you just want to go in here with a clean slate. You want to use a projection system. Here's the 5: Cairo, Marcel, Steamer, Zips, Roto Valley. The 2 big ones are Steamer and Zips. And it's all to preference. You can use Fangraphs as well if you want to check up on teams. As always, use the RotoWorld forums. It's the best avenue. And I will catch you on my next video where I will talk about what league you should be playing in, whether it should be auction, roto, snake, and points. That'll be my next video. I will post a funny video on the description, so if you guys want to click on that, have a good time. Thanks for joining me.